what I want to show you is some of the ways that, and some of the features that you'll see with SAM as it relates to 365 and 2016, the content, the features, the way it works. SAM actually stands for Skills Assessment Manager, and it was something that was needed in this market because you had folks who would teach this course and they would have no way to assess students, so other than manually. So they would make students create a flyer in Word or create a spreadsheet and print it out, and then they would have to mark it up manually. What SAM did, Skills Assessment Manager, it took that manual grading away from the instructor so that now you could provide an environment to the student where they could click around and it would prove their abilities, their skills. It would truly assess their skills in these applications in sort of a virtual simulated environment. And part of SAM, so there are three pillars to SAM. SAM offers training, which what that is it just shows students how to do particular tasks within the application. So how do you open Word? How do you open a document? How do you save a document? How do you bold font in Word? Stuff like that. So it will show them, the training is kind of like a video. You're watching it occur. So it's saying, okay, in this task we're going to do this thing and here's how you do it. And you just sit there and watch it, and it's got audio, and it's doing all the clicking and pointing around and everything that you would typically do. And there's sort of three phases to the training so that you get kind of an upfront, this is what we're going to do, and it will walk through doing it, showing you how it's done. The cursor moves, it clicks when it's supposed to, you don't have to do anything. The second part of this is it will give you call outs. So it'll say click here, and it'll point to something, and it'll point to something and say click here next, but you have to click, the student has to click. So it's kind of removing a little bit of the help that it gave initially. Initially it just showed it everything. And then now the second part of this is the student has to do the clicking. The last thing is called apply in the training. And it just basically says what the student is to do. It doesn't give them any further information. It just says open a new blank document or bold the text that says whatever. So it gives them an instruction and they have to do all the clicking and figure out how to do it. Now that's the apply part of training. So they've moved from seeing it done to actually kinesthetically doing it themselves. And that's training. The second pillar of SAM is the exam. Now the exam is going to be a task-based environment. So a student will be told, open a new blank document, or apply this formula to that such and such cell, cell C11, apply this formula to that cell. So in the exam, they're being given instructions, and they have to actually click in the simulated environment. So the exam looks a lot like the apply portion of training. It's very similar. And then the third pillar, and this is really the strength of SAM, is the project. So the way the project works, they actually have to use the software that they are learning. They will download some documents, a starting document. They will download instructions, and the instructions will be something, it'll be scenario based. So you are in a garage band and you have to create a flyer for your next gig. And here are the steps to create the flyer. Now we'll give them a starting document that they start with that has some words in it and the formatting's wrong or whatever. But they might have 15 or 20 steps. Step 1. Center the title and bold it. Step 2, format the first paragraph so that it is 1.5 inch spaces between sentences, something like that. So it'll walk through all the steps. These are the things that you have to do. And at the very end of this document, it gives an image as to what their document should look like when they're finished. Like your flyer is going to look like this right here when you're done. Now it is an image, so they can't copy and paste anything from it into their own project. Anyway, so once they're finished with their document and they've gone through all the steps, they upload it to SAM, and SAM automatically grades it for them. So it removes that part of the grading that you have to do, and they get immediate feedback, and it shows them, these are all the steps, and these are the ones you did right, and these are the ones you did wrong. You didn't do these things. Y'all give multiple attempts to students.
Correct. We give them 3 for graded projects and 5 for practice projects.
Okay, so you have 2 categories. You have the practice projects and you have graded projects. The practice projects, they can upload 5 different times. So the first time they upload a project, it'll tell them what they got right and wrong. Then they have 4 more uploads, right? And then for the graded ones, it's 3. It's limited to 3. So everybody should get 100 because they're getting full feedback, what they did wrong, they can upload again. I'm hearing snickers in the crowd. All right, here we go. So let's talk about 365 2016 content. It's the same platform. It's going to look and feel the same as you are familiar with. The assessment and training content for Office 365 2016, all this stuff is built in HTML5. This makes a difference because in those simulated environments, so 2 of the 3 pillars of SAM, the training and the exam, are simulated. The projects, they actually have to use the application, but in those simulated environments, it's HTML5, meaning they don't need Flash, which is actually a great improvement. No Flash. So it's cross-browser compatible, meaning they can use Edge, Chrome, Safari, Firefox, or Internet Explorer. And on this topic, y'all now have Firefox in your labs. I would recommend that everybody tell their students use Firefox. I would just blanket that out. If you're going to be in SAM, if you're going to be in whatever you do here, use Firefox.
Now, excuse me for interrupting, you say it's cross-browser support, yet we're finding out here when I try to get in through it via Edge, it wouldn't let me into SAM. Is that something that you're aware of and you're working on?
Is that a 2016? You were trying to get into the...
I went through the D2L
2013.
and I went to the SAM link on the D2L and it just sort of sat there.
All right, so if I were going to troubleshoot, I would say it was probably a pop-up blocker, because what happens is when you click a link to go to an external website from D2L, it will try to open a new window, and there may have been a pop-up blocker that killed it. So it looks like nothing happens when in fact something did happen. But and this is part of the reason I recommend Firefox. It works in Edge and Internet Explorer, but I'm not going to guarantee that it's going to be 100%. That's just me. I'm not officially, it's supposed to work, but there are some issues with Internet Explorer. Edge is an overlay of Internet Explorer. This is essentially the same thing with some tweaks. I would highly recommend Firefox.
Why do you recommend that over Chrome?
Well, I recommend Chrome first, but y'all don't have Chrome on your lab. So
I'm thinking about somebody at home or whatever.
Totally Chrome, yes, and Firefox. To me, they're equal.
Okay.
I prefer Chrome myself, but and here in the labs, tell them to use Firefox. All right, so cross-platform support, Windows, Mac, iOS, Android, meaning, tablets. There are 2 assessment scenarios for every training task. So some of these things are scenario-based, so we do have multiple scenarios. The tasks are remediated to readings, project study center, and student guide reports. We'll look at reports in a minute. And then we have a lot of 80-day compliance, really just about everything you would need there. So we have new projects. We're going to have a more true-to-life Microsoft Office experience. You're going to see that this is an open-ended environment. So when they're in there, previously, SAM was a little bit limited. If they clicked somewhere randomly on a screen, a student did, they would get marked wrong. Like, you didn't click the right place to complete this task, so you're wrong. However, now things are explorable. So they can actually click on a menu item and open the menu without getting marked wrong. Only when they do something that would change the document are they marked wrong. So it's an open environment. And that's part of what this is saying. They have the ability to explore the ribbon. Now, there will be left-hand navigation. So before, the navigation was at the bottom. Now it's going to be on the left-hand side. That just sort of cleans up the window a little bit. Also, we had an issue before, and if you've used SAM, you'll know this. The window was not resizable, and that created problems sometimes. It's totally resizable now, and it behaves as if you're in the actual application. So it will resize the same way Word would or whatever else. You can schedule your exams as explorable mode if you want, or as a true assessment, meaning a wrong click will send them an incorrect answer. I would allow for explorable mode, but that's just me. And then we have new content for Windows 10. So the 2016 projects, this is new, are going to give Mac hints in them. So, for example, this project step, number 6, change the sparkline type to column for cell I11 and blah, blah, blah. Mac hint, 7th column, 4th row. So we're going to give students who use Macs a little extra information because sometimes it's a little bit different. And then here's our target for release of content. We are in August, so October through March we have some intermediate things coming online, and really that's intermediate and comprehensive. We have a few things coming online, so pretty much we're done except for the additional few things that are coming. Now what I want to do is I want to go to D2L, and as I mentioned before, it's going to say Brightspace on mine, and it may even on yours as well. I need to grab this address here, and what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to link, and I know some of y'all were getting close to linking there. Do you have the course key ready?
Yes.
Okay, just so when I get to that point,
Yeah,
as I'm
it's
pulling
in
this up.
my PowerPoint.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll grab it in a second then. So, all right. So, space. Okay, I'm going to my login page. I'm going to go ahead and log in. Now, I am going to go ahead and get into this course. So what's going to happen is you're going to be given a course, right? So you're going to be given a course by your administrator on campus. It's pretty much going to be a blank course. You have to link SAM into this and put whatever else it is that you want in your course online here. So the way this occurs is you have to go to the course builder. Now the course builder will be in a list of items. This is in the course administration items. But you'll see course builder listed. Now it might be in a different column on yours, but it'll be in this list. This is the course builder. So basically what happens is you can't do anything here until you have a module. So the very first step is to build a module, and then you can put links in it. Build a module and put documents in it or whatever. So the thing here is you can literally build your course out, the skeleton of your course, any way that you want to. So what I'm going to do is just add a couple of modules real quick, and you add a module by grabbing this first icon, you pull it over, and you give your module a name. So I'm going to call this overarching link to SAM. It is possible that you do not want your students to have an overarching link to SAM. That's a possibility. So you may want to, for example, if I don't want my students to have an overarching link, I'm going to make this draft. So now it says draft, and this module, actually there's a plus sign here. This is a little glitch with D2L, but there's nothing underneath. This module is draft, meaning students cannot see it. So I'm going to add a couple more modules. I'm just going to grab this, pull it over to the course. I'm going to call this, and I don't know how you're going to want to categorize or manage your courses, but you could call this week 1, for example, and that's going to be everything that we're going to cover in week 1. I'll leave this as published because I want students to see it. I'm going to make another one. Suppose that you want to make yours chapter based. We're going to call this chapter 3. Suppose you want to make it application based. Actually, I put chapter 3 in the wrong place. You want to drag it over to the module for that's the core, you want to drag it to the course to make a brand new module right under the course. So let's call this chapter, let's call this Word. And I want to move this one.
And you guys already have these modules already set up.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah, and they also have a module that's for the overarching link for SAM.
Oh, so you have these modules built. Great. So now that you have these modules, you have a module for the overarching link to SAM, you have whatever the skeleton is that you want to make this. The next step is to grab the Cengage Learning logo down here. You'll see the logo that says Cengage Learning, and you'll pull it over to where you'd start in the overarching link. Because by doing this, and when you let go, it's going to open this up. By doing this, we are adding a link. This process will add a link there to that overarching module. All right, so I'm choosing one. You're going to choose the right one for you. The deal is, this is a Cengage Desire to Learn account. So anything that's really published and been offered is going to show up here. So I have a long list of titles that I have to go through and see if they're right. You're going to have a smaller, shorter list, and because your list will have only the things that are available to this school. So when you get to this point, you're going to see 3 options. So you can create a new SAM course, you can copy an existing course that you have in your account, or we're going to do the third option, copy a colleague's existing course, because this has already been built out. So we're going to copy a colleague's existing course, and you'll need the course key, which is in this right here. So capital GWS dash DBOD dash 2 MMM dash MV1J. That is the course key that you are going to use. And what this is going to do is make a snapshot of this course and put it in your account. It will become independent of this course. You'll have your own copy of this course. And I'll leave that up for a second so everybody can write that down. And that's an O, not a 0. Everybody got it? Just about. Now this may or may not work for me. I'm not sure. I'm going to try. When I paste that in here, then you're going to click verify. And it seems to be working for me. So what you're going to do is you're going to have to give this course a name. You can call it whatever you want. So I'll call this demo course for CCTC training.
You're gonna name your course.
So you'll name your course whatever you want to name it, CPT whatever dash whatever. The only things that you have to put in here are the course start date and the course end date, and make sure your time zone is right. So
Typically, it's got a course name for that.
what? Oh, so there's a standard course name that you're going to use. What's the?
Yeah, it's,
How does that
I have
work?
it on that slide.
Okay.
It has the course name.
There's a standard name.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
here's the name. So it'll be CPT 101. XXX is
Your section.
your section number, and then with this 201610 at the end, right? So I'm going to copy this. Y'all, that's how we're going to do this. And you'll see on this page, if you didn't get that. So here it is. This would be your section number, the XXX. I'm going to leave mine XXX. What is the start date?
15 August,
August 15 is the start.
December 15th.
Oh, that's easy. December the 15th is the end. Your time zone, Eastern, and it'll be right there when you click it open. It'll be a little below the middle, right there, Eastern time.
Okay, so, all right.
Oh, yeah.
And then when you've done this, you will click continue. Wait, no, continue.
Oh,
At the
continue.
bottom, it'll say continue. Just make sure you have to fill in the things that have the red stars, and so you don't have to put course number in. Click continue, and it says at the bottom, updating course information. Now, see this, click continue,
The textbooks.
and it's saying that your link has been added, you're going to be redirected. Now, some of you are getting the SAM screen where you pick the book.
Yeah.
I was not given that option. Let me go there. Let me go there just so I can show everybody. Now, sometimes you'll see this, a pop-up blocker blocked the window that was supposed to be open, so you have to allow. So, yeah, folks are getting this screen right here. So this is where we have to select the textbook that we want.
But if we just went to SAM assignments and clicked on SAM assignments, our assignments were already loaded. We didn't have to pick a textbook.
That's correct, but when students cross over, it doesn't know what textbook to turn on for them until you add this to the course. See what I mean? So like there are no
Yeah, 'cause
active
that's the
textbooks
start.
available to students in my course right now, but there's 70 that are possible, but I have to pick one. All right, you'll scroll down till you see Shelley Cashman. This is alphabetical in some order. It's going to have the E next to it. That's what you want, and you're going to add that to the course, and then it disappears because now it's up here in active.
You need to save it, right?
And so turn on the student readings. Make sure you turn on the student readings so students have access to it. So the way this works is if you want to add something to Desire to Learn, it's Course Admin, Course Builder, and we've already done that. If you already have your stuff in here, you would go Content and just click a link and make sure that it works. Now, you have other links in here. You're going to have links in your modules, in your areas, and they will go directly to activities in SAM. So those links are direct links to activities. That's why I said I wanted to hide the overarching link, because students are going to go through the other modules. You may have a link to an exam or a training or a project, and a student would go directly to that item by clicking those links. So what I want to do is show you a little bit about SAM. Be aware, the number one issue that you're going to run into is a student is going to come to you and say, I clicked the link and nothing happens. It won't let me in. And the reason 9.9 times out of 10 what is going on is they click a link in D2L, the pop-up blocker in the browser they're using killed the window that was trying to be open. And therefore it looked like they just sat there. When in fact, a window opened and closed immediately, they never saw it.
Right.
So if you have a student that comes to you and says, I click a link, nothing happens, nothing, I can't get in, I don't know, blah, 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 turn off your pop-up blocker. First of all, use Chrome or Firefox, and then turn off your blocker, pop-up blocker. And the way you do that, I'm in Firefox. In Firefox, this is actually, there's a does anybody know the technical term for this icon right here at the top right? There's a technical term for this.
Ellipsis?
No, but that's actually not a bad one. It's called a hamburger because it looks like a hamburger. That is the technical term for this icon. So you go to the hamburger, and you would go to options, and if you weren't given the option to turn off pop-ups and so forth there, you can go to privacy, and I believe it's privacy. It is not. I always get lost in here. Content, security.
It's not security?
It's not security. Is it content? Right there, it's content. 3's a charm. So I've got pop-ups being blocked. I can just either do an exception or globally turn that off. In Chrome, it's going to be a similar deal. You can search for the word pop, and it'll tell you where pop-up is in the settings. So here I am in SAM. Now, this is showing me all of the assignments that I have available in my course. Because you copied somebody else's course, all of those assignments came to you and are now in your course. And actually, I did the same thing, so are y'all seeing the same types of... All right, so let's take a look, because I told y'all some stuff about the trainings and the exams and projects, so let's just take a quick tour. Let's go into one. So we're going to go into Excel Module 1 graded training. And what you want to do, you don't click you'll do this a bunch. You'll click that and go, what? Oh, that just gives you information. I always get tricked by that as well. It's the little eyeball to the left. To preview, it will show you all the tasks that are going to be explained in this training, but you can click launch all at the top and it will launch all of them. Now, this is going to be different. If you're familiar with SAM, this is going to be a different look and feel slightly. It's going to work basically in the same way. So before, we weren't able to do anything with this window, but now we can resize this window, and it resizes just like the application does, and I can even make it smaller than it appeared initially, and it resizes in the same way. One other thing that you're going to notice is that it gives the student the full experience with Windows 10 in the background. So we have Cortana here, this is all part of the simulation. And so this works the same way that all trainings have in the past. You're going to get some upfront information. This is going to give us the task at hand. This is what we're going to do. And then it's going to give us the possible ways to do it. So here's one way to do that task. So we've got to align cell contents horizontally. Here's one way to do it. Here's another way to do it. Here's another way to do it, and so forth. So it's going to show you different ways. This one has 5 different ways to do that one thing. This is the intro part of training. It's just introducing this idea, this task. Now, I'm going to click Observe, and this is a video running. I'm not clicking anything. It is going to show me and tell me what to do. I'm going to click Observe.
Select cell C3.
Sorry.
What?
In the alignment group on the Home tab, click the...
Is that better? Sorry.
Excel centers the contents of the cell horizontally.
All right, so it showed me how to do that. So I did observe, and I can go ahead and say if I want to go to the intro again, or if I want to go to practice next, or if I want to go to apply next. So it goes intro, observe. The intro was, here's what we're going to do. The observe was what we just saw. Now we're going to go to practice.
So they don't have to click
Select cell
on
C3.
task complete anymore? Like they
No, that's another thing. They automatic, when they're done, they just go to the next item. They don't have to click anything, which is fantastic because students were. Now, this, unlike this is removing some of the help I was getting before because it's telling me to do it, but it's giving me a great neon sign that says select cell 3 right there, boom. But I have to do it. So then it says, and it tells me,
Click the center button.
I got to go up here and click this,
Excel centers the contents of the cell horizontally.
and it tells me what just happened in audio. Now, I did an intro, I did observe, I just did practice. The next one is apply. This is going to be the most like an exam question. This is the one that's going to mirror what they'll see on an exam. I'm going to click apply, and they are given the instructions. It doesn't say a word to them. It doesn't give them any call outs. It says center the contents of cell cell C3 horizontally. That's the task. That's how they're going to be presented this in an exam. So if I go to C1, 2, 3, click there. Now I want you to notice that before, and I haven't done it yet, I'm not finished, because I still have to center it, I've just selected it. Before, if I clicked somewhere, it would say you're wrong in the training. But now I can explore within, as long as I don't make a change to the document, I can explore all I want.
And you can use the shortcut keys also.
Yes, we have multiple pathways.
So it's not saying that if I use Control E for center, it's not going to mark it as wrong. Whereas if you go up to the top and actually do it, it's not going to be wrong.
Control E,
Is center.
let me do that. So now I have this selected. Control E, apply complete. It goes to the next one.
I like that.
Okay.
So that's a great improvement as well.
Now, if it's late at night, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I've done one task, I get out of this. How do I know where I've left off?
It should bring you back to where you left off.
Should take me right back to where I left off.
Because I'm in an instructor view, I'm not 100% that it's going to do that, but let's close out. I don't know that it will. It probably won't keep where it won't in instructor mode. Okay.
In instructor
But in student mode, it will take them back.
In instructor mode, it won't remember.
mode. Okay.
The other thing is, just like before, they have a task list that they can open up and they can move around. It's not a linear progression. I can go to task 4 if I want to.
But how does it identify which tasks I've completed?
It will show you in this task list, there'll be a green check. Right.
I like that.
So if you'll see green checks for the ones that you've finished. The student will.
So we can still go to the students mode also.
Let me see. So if I wanted to go to student view,
Yes, student view.
so I'm in here, yeah, you still have your own student view right there. So you just hover over your name, you can go to student view. All right, so that is training. Let's exam, it's not going to be, it's going to look like that applied, but let's just look at it. Very similar. You can allow for an open experience in exam if you want, so that clicking around won't hurt them.
Adam, let me tell you one thing that I found with my students this summer. If that task instruction command is in a part of the screen that they don't like, use that minimize key to get it out of the way. Don't try to drag it, because if you drag it and
It
you
counts
drag
it
it
as
over into another spot and you've accidentally chosen part of the screen and then you click something, it will grade it for you.
So don't move this around.
Right. If you don't like it there, just
Minimize
get
it.
it out of the way. Minimize it. And then you can bring it back up if you need it.
So that was creating problems if they tried to do this,
Yes.
because they'd accidentally click somewhere or
Yep.
whatever.
So if they don't like it, just minimize it and then they can bring it back it'll keep them from having some unexplained things.
I'm in an exam and I'm clicking around, and it's not marking me wrong. I mean, that's a big difference. So in this exam, I have 45 tasks. I have a time limit. It tells me how many attempts I have remaining on each task. Traditionally, we defaulted to and suggested 3 attempts because if a student randomly clicked somewhere accidentally, they'd be marked wrong if they only had 1 attempt. And that created a little bit of irritation on everybody's part. So 3 attempts, but still now you still have it, even though I think that's fair. Yeah.
Question for you, interrupt you, Karen. The time limit, that's set automatically by?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And the attempts is automatically set off by?
Yes.
And I don't like this.
So that's how an exam works. Again, we don't force a linear approach. So they can go through, and here's the benefit. Students typically want to build off their strength. So if I'm a student coming into this exam and I see that there are 45 questions, I'm going to want to start with the stuff I know. I'm going to go, okay, well, I know that one, and I want to click that, and I want to do that one and get it out of the way. And I'm starting to build my confidence as I go along. We're allowing for that. You know, just as in a printed exam, they don't have to go 1, 2, 3, 4. They can go 1, 5, 2, 6, whatever. Same thing here. So I'm on
And
task 6 of 45.
It's still gonna do the same thing at the end. If they get ready to close out of an exam, it's gonna tell them there are unfinished items.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
they can still elect to go back
So
and
they-
finish what they hadn't finished.
They can jump around as much as they want until they exit out purposely or the time runs out.
Exactly.
I like this. This is easy.
And then I want to
Much
make,
easier than it was.
I have to make,
It's very student friendly.
this is very student friendly, and I really want to, well, let me show you this. I mean, y'all probably already know this. But while I'm in here on the SAM side, it's showing me everything. So these check marks, it's showing me exams, trainings, projects, blah, blah, blah. But if I want to toggle what I'm looking at here, I can turn things off. I don't want to see always available, or readings. I don't want to see SAM. I don't want to see training. I don't want to see exams. I just want to see projects. So these are all the projects.
And then you can actually sort
You
it
can
by the due date
toggle.
also.
Yeah.
I tell students to sort it by the due date also.
Yeah.
You can
So they
sort
know.
by available, you can sort by due.
We figured that
Yeah.
one out 2 semesters ago.
Yeah, because it
So-
was easier for them, for the students, if I say, only have projects selected, go to
I'm gonna
your
go to the
due
student
date
view.
and sort it. And it's gonna come up with your very first one. If it comes up with something like an 11 or 12, hit it again, and it will bring it back up to the top there.
Yeah, so in student view, I just crossed over, hovered my name and clicked student view. Same kind of deal. If I look at the activity list, it starts me at this activity calendar, which is kind of nice because it does tell you a lot of information about stuff that's coming due and whatnot. But if I look at the activity list, I can then sort by due date. I can also toggle what I want to look at. But I do want to look at some projects here. And I want to show you, because we looked at training, we looked at exam, I want to look at a project. And let's see, why is that disappearing on me? It's not letting me select. I wonder if the availability is not letting me select.
It's not open yet. It's not
Yeah,
15.
it's not there yet. I'm going to go back. I'm going to show you from the instructor. It's the same thing. I'm going to show you from the instructor view. It wouldn't let me because the class hadn't even started yet. As a student, of course, it wouldn't let me. So again, same thing. Don't click the hyperlink, but click the eyeball. And this is what a graded project will look like. Now, I want to explain this well. Actually, I want to do one in Word instead, but we'll take a look at Excel. I want to do Word graded project. We'll do this one. All right. They have an instruction file that they need to download. Then they have a start file, and they have a couple of resource files. Typically, those are images or something that they're going to have to put in the document. And then they have a solution file that they can look at. So this one has 5 documents for them to download. Now, I'm going to download and let's look at these one by one. Instruction file, I'm going to open this up. This is going to tell me everything that I need to do in this project. As soon as this opens up, I want to point out the very first step. So, and remember I said these are going to be scenario based. So there's a used book sale and we got to complete a flyer or something for this used book sale. Now, this is just the instruction document. However, the next thing that I'm going to download is going to be my working file, the one that I will eventually upload. So here's an exercise in psychology. It used to be that we would give students the file, they would download it, have to work on it and upload it, and they never had to do any manipulation of the title of that file at all to upload it. And what happened was students were downloading the starting file and uploading it without making any changes to it whatsoever. They would just upload what they had just downloaded. And I can't explain why that is. So we said, okay, you're going to have to change the title of the file at least before you upload it. And that cleared the problem away. So somebody needs to study why that is. I don't know. So anyway, what's going to happen is the students will download a file that has their name in it. So mine will be AdamStevens_1. I need to change that to AdamStevens_2. And the _2 file is the one that I'll upload when I'm finished. So let me do that. So here's my start file. And I'm going to, and actually this says first name, last name. I think it's because it's the instructor file. So anyway, this is the one that would have their name in it. And what I want to do is I want to save it as, I'm going to go ahead and save it on the desktop, and I'm going to change that 1 to a 2. And that's the one that they would then work in. So here's the starting document. This is going to end up being a flyer when I'm finished. It doesn't look very good right now, so I'm going to have to do a lot of manipulation to this document. Now, when I go back to the instructions, it says open that file _1, save it as _2 by changing the 1 to a 2. And then the other thing that they'll do is they'll put .docx in the file name. So then they're saving a file that's .docx.docx at the end of it. So they do not put the file extension in the name. And it tells them that. If you do not see the .docx file extension in the Save As dialog box, do not type it. The program will add that. And then they'll still do it. Then there are a couple of images they're going to have to use for this flyer. So those are things that they're going to download as well. Now, just note that whatever it is they need to complete this project is going to be given to them right there. They don't go to Google and Google anything. They don't download anything from Google. It's all given to them right there. So we've done all that, and we're going to download those, but the project steps are here. And it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 has several parts. 5, 6 has several parts, and so forth. These are the steps that they have to complete to finish this project successfully.
And our hardest part is getting him to read.
To read this, yeah.
Like to read.
Now what you'll see, I mean, it'll show you at the end. This is an image of, this is what your flyer is going to look like when you're finished. Y'all saw the beginning when it was just a bunch of words. It's going to look like this when you're finished. Now, they can't copy and paste anything from here into their document because this is an image. But it does show, it does give them that. But yeah, getting them to read this.
Now, it used to, and I may be mistaken, but like in step 2, it says make the picture of the umbrellas more eye-catching as follows. Apply the green, 5-point glow, accent color 1, glow picture effect. Didn't it used to give them a hint like you're doing now for the Mac? Didn't it used to
Where to find that? The 12th, it's the 12th in the list or something like that?
Yeah, like full column.
Sometimes it will. It just
now.
depends on the project itself. I still see that in the project. So that must be, you must have clicked on a higher level one then.
No, this is just before.
Oh, before, oh, all of them would. All of them would say that.
Yeah, they all used to be on
Really?
back end.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You did.
Let me see. Oh, like here? Text-
No, it would actually tell you though, okay, for the color, let's say the green 5-point glow accent color. All right, it would say, okay, you know, third one over, fifth one down.
Yeah, fifth column, third.
I have
Right.
seen that, and I don't know why. Let's ask that question. We'll find out. If,
And while you're asking those kind of questions, let me ask you, in that particular one, go ahead and insert a picture, any picture, it doesn't matter. Once you have a picture in there, and you're asking them to apply an effect, like a correction to the picture, they don't see what the corrections are. And we test them on that, which is really rather unfair. I tried to make sure that I memorized the location of what they were gonna be tested, because it will tell them, for instance, brightness 20%, contrast -40 or something. And then when they point, it's not labeled, where it's actually labeled inside the Microsoft
no, that's not
application.
gonna do it. All right, let me see if I can replicate what we're talking about here. I got to get rid of some of these windows. All right.
Open up your picture.
You have to file it if it's the picture. You're just looking at it there.
And then you can copy that, you should be able to copy that. Then go back to your document. Just insert it.
Okay, now grab your picture, and under Picture Tools format, where the corrections are over on the left, if you point to those, see how inside Microsoft it gives you hints?
Mm-hmm.
When we're doing that in the exam, or it doesn't give them those notations. They don't see that hint.
In 2016, they don't.
So,
Okay.
so I just told I just went and found whichever one they were testing, like the 20 and 40.
That's a good idea. I'm gonna take
You know, memorize that, and I would tell them, make sure that you know when you're looking on the contrast or correction screen, that this is the location for this correction, because you're gonna be asked about that later.
It's just like,
It went away.
yeah, it's just, I got a picture.
Oh, you got it. Okay. All
So
right.
this is the,
In the exam, she's saying that won't pop up.
Right.
Okay.
It's that way in Words and PowerPoint.
Yeah, I mean, it should be a representation of what they're going to see. So we'll find out.
Okay,
Uh,
thanks.
no problem. So I do feel like I want to get at least one of these things right, maybe before we do anything with it. So you need to format a one-page flyer. Start by changing the document margins to normal. I know how to do that. Well, I said I know how to do that. Is it?
Layout.
No, that's layout. Sorry. See, I need to take your class. Normal. And then, to make the text easier to read, modify the normal style by changing the font size to 12. That's step 2.
No.
Oh,
Go
where-
to
how do I-
Go to File. Go to File. I'm sorry, go to Home. Go to your font, to the normal. We're gonna right click on that and the normal. Modify. 12. Times New Roman or whatever it wanted.
It didn't say so.
Say okay.
Huh. See?
In class.
I'm doing all right now. Okay, so let me save this. I don't know if it's going to upload because it doesn't have my name in it. That's the only thing. And it may be because the class hadn't even started yet. I don't know. So let me go back to, oh goodness, which one was it? Was that it? I see, I told you. I told you guys, it's gonna mess you up every time. I think it was this, it won't let me because it's not even online yet. So let me show you what it looks like when you upload, because I have that.
Seen up there with that screen? Forget it. That was an old screen.
Old screen.
Oh yeah, don't ever go here. Don't do what I do. do not do as I do. All right, so on the student side, and they will get here from your D2L, they're going to see all kinds of stuff that they did. So once they upload a project or whatever, they're going to be able to download a report and file based on those projects. So here's a project that I did, Chapter 5 project. And if I click this, I'm actually going to be able to see how I did on this project. So it's going to show me all the steps, and I got a green check for those. This is automatic. So I got the first two right, and then I just bombed it from there. But it goes line item by line item. And so for number 5, it will give you partial credit. So had I done one of these 3 items, I would have a 2 out of 6. So we'll give you partial credit for what you do. Now, the other thing I want to point out is, let me go back to this. Excel, okay, so here's an Excel one.
Because some students want to skip around.
Like they do in the,
Yeah.
no, they need to do that one step by step. So here's one that's an Excel that I did. Again, it's going to show me step by step how I did, and in this one I didn't do anything right. You can see zeros everywhere. However, what I want to point out is on the Excel, if you look at the bottom, this is where you're going to have more information. So I can look at the documentation, I can look at the budget itself that I was supposed to do, and it has comments.
This is great.
Grading error comments right here in each cell. So, yeah. So this is very nice. I mean, it gives them a lot of detail. Even on the Word one, there's more detail than I showed you. Yeah.
We have a CPT 101 online course. Would be happy to sign you up for.
Yeah. I know, I need it, don't I? So even this one will give me like comments at the end of it. So you can see these comments here. If I click them, it gives me more information. So there's a lot here. This was the band flyer.
This is excellent.
We need a bassist. So this, yeah, I mean, this has everything that the student's going to need. The other thing that's going to be nice for students is they get remediated in a study guide. So because of how I did on this, I can then go to my study guide and it will tell me, okay, so these were the tasks you were supposed to do, here's how you did, and then here's the training on that. So in this one, my result was 6, but it still gives me the training link. This one, I missed that one, -6, and then it takes me right to the training. Now, I'm in 2013, that's why it says Flash Player required. Remember I told y'all, no Flash in 2016, so, but it would open the training up. So yeah.
What about the grade book?
Your grade book, let's talk about that. So because these things are linked in D2L, let me go back to D2L. So you're going to have an area in your grade center in D2L where these grades are going to flow automatically. And if you look at your grade center, and they don't have to set up theirs, do they? They do. So let me show you how to do this. You're going to want to bring grades over. We're going to have to go back to Course Admin. We're going to have to go back to Course Builder, and I'll show you how this works. So everybody should have a module that says, this is an example, Microsoft Word 2016. Everybody got that module? that you see in your course builder, and the way you get to your course builder in your D2L is edit course at the top right. As an example, in your list you have a module that says Microsoft Word 2016. I've created one in mine. This is how you're going to bring grades over and how you're going to give direct links to things for students. So what I'm going to do, and you're going to have to do this for all of your modules that you have where you're going to want Cengage links. You're going to grab that Cengage Learning logo wherever it is over on the left for you. You're going to hold on to it and you're going to pull it up to that module or whichever module you're working in. Now, because I've already linked this course,
This is for the actual slide.
I've already linked Cengage.
On the right-hand
I have a long list of things. I'm going to click linked and it's going to show me what's linked to this course. I have a stray one linked that I don't know why, but you're going to have SAM, LMS integrated, blah, 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 and it's going to say linked to course. So you're going to click that hyperlink. That's the one you want. And now what we're going to get is a table of contents of what's available in SAM.
You should have some
So these are all the trainings, projects, exams that exist in your SAM course. And since this is Word, this is the Word module, you can select
They have wording.
all the Word stuff. You want to just put all the Word stuff in there.
Yes.
So anything that says Word, and that's all the Word stuff. So Excel Access, want to make sure. All right, that's all the Word stuff. And I'm gonna, because I'm working in that Word module, and either at the top or the bottom is going to be confirm selections. I'm going to click that, and it's going to tell me, hey, you're bringing all this stuff over. And I'm going to say yes. So save. And then it's going to redirect me back to Desire to Learn. And now if I open this plus sign, boom, all these links are right there for Word. The other thing is, if I go back to my home, I'm just going to go to my home, or I'm sorry, the opening of the course. If I go to the course page, and then if I go grades, you're going to have the same thing in yours. If I click manage grades, all those came over. So the grade book syncs. You saw before when I did this, I only had the final calculated grade and final adjusted grade. Now, because I brought these direct links to items in SAM, all this stuff is now a grade book item. So you can then manage your grade book in D2L however you want. You have these new items in here. You can categorize them, do whatever you want.
So when they actually finish the graded training, it automatically will.
Auto-populate gradebook in D2L from SAM. So we need to do this again because you've got other modules where you need to put links in. So I'm going to click here, but you guys will click Edit Course, or you may already still be in the Course Builder. I'm going to go to Course Builder. What's the name of another module that you guys have that I don't? Microsoft Excel?
Excel.
All right, so I'm going to create one. You already have it. Microsoft Excel 2016. Create. So in this module, same thing. I'm going to grab the Cengage Learning logo. I'm going to pull it over. When I do that, it's going to say, what are you trying to put in here? And for me, I have a long list of stuff. You don't. I'm going to have to do this to find what I'm looking for. It is that SAM hyperlink, and when I click it again, I get the table of contents of what's available in SAM. Now I'm looking for the word Excel. So all this Excel stuff I want to bring over because that's my Excel module. So here's all the Excel stuff.
You can do a
Sorry.
click on the first one, go down to the last one, and click on control and click the last one. and
Okay, so it'll select it that way.
select them.
Going to confirm. You're bringing all the stuff over? Yes, save. And it's going to redirect me back to D2L. I'll be back in the course builder. I'll have all those links now in my Excel module, and if I go to the gradebook, those will all be gradebook items. And that's how you do it. Here's the deal. Sometimes we will do, we'll help students get registered and so forth in classes, and I always tell them, your instructor is not tech support. Y'all should tell them I'm not tech support. So we're going to put a link to tech support here for them. So here's what we're going to do. For that SAM 2016 module, grab the Cengage logo again, pull it up there just like we did all that other stuff.
Ours is just called SAM.
Oh, okay. Get the link, click in. At the very bottom of this list is a link to tech support. Cengage technical support. Grab that, confirm, save. Takes you back to D2L, puts it in there. Now, the benefit of this is not only because, hey, don't come to me. The benefit of this is if they click this link, it knows stuff about them already. It knows they're coming from D2L. It knows they're coming from Central Carolina. It knows stuff about their course. And it's a great way for us to be able to identify any potential problems as they crop up if 2 or 3 students are having to click that link from the same course. You know, all of a sudden we know, okay, there's an issue. So that's the best way to send them to tech support. They'll be able to create a ticket. They'll be given a phone number, all that good stuff. And
I removed this one.
that's the best way to go.